Have you ever tried to paint iron only for it to end up looking like cheap matte plastic instead of polished iron? You're scrolling through ArtStation and stop at a gorgeous piece of splash art that feels so tactile you can almost touch the cold metal of a expertly rendered armor piece. Even though you know for certain it is a bunch of pixels on your screen, but your brain is convinced it is real. I used to wonder, is this magic? Or is there a system with a set of rules that allows you to paint iron convincingly? While some artists might use photo texture, a texture won't save you if you don't understand how iron actually works. The real secret lies in understanding how light behaves when it hits iron surface. It sounds complex, but I will break it down into easy steps that we can explore together. In this video, we are going to cover things like the fundamental rules of rendering iron, the difference between various iron surfaces, from polished to weathered, and how to use photo textures to add that final layer of believability. A creative exercise that you can do to improve how you master these materials while having fun. Let's start with a simple sphere. Iron is mostly made of desaturated blue-grays with some few subtle color variations, which would be easier to manage as we paint. A key thing to remember about metal is that it's a high contrast and highly reflective material. On a scale from dielectric, like plastic, rock, wood, etc., to materials, iron sits around the top of the reflectivity spectrum, which means it can reflect the environment like a distorted mirror. This is why you see me add a background behind the sphere. Because polished iron is like a mirror, it will reflect the environment, even the parts we can't see in frame. So we need to determine exactly what that is. I decided that my sphere will reflect the table it is sitting on. Keep in mind that these reflections will warp around the edges like a fisheye lens due to our object being round. I defined the shadows using a lasso fill tool and then gently softened the edge with a smudge tool. I'm using a desaturated blue for the shadow to match the background color, and a slightly warmer color for the light source. Finally, for the icing on the cake, I will add a very bright specular highlight and the background color around the sphere as well. This will really sell the idea of metallic look and shows how glossy the surface is. Here is a pro tip to check your contrast. Add a solid black layer on top of everything and change the blending mode to either saturation or hue, depending on what software you use. This lets us compare our values against a real-life reference without getting distracted by the colors. We have looked at polished iron, but what if the metal has seen better days? Here is a good rule of thumb. The more textured the metal is, the less reflective it becomes, and highlight will become less strong. When iron gets rusty, for example, it will turn more matte and reddish-brown due to its reaction to oxygen and water. This iron oxide will create a more flaky and matte surface that removes reflections completely. If you want to add details quickly, photo textures are great for believability. When searching for a texture, look for something that is flat with no clear light direction. Preferably lit from straight on, so it doesn't fight with the light you already painted on your object. First, I turned the texture layer gray by using adjustment layer so it does not interfere with the colors. Then I changed the layer mode into overlay blend mode. I add a layer mask to paint the texture in where I need it, so the final result doesn't turn out too messy. I render a little bit on top just to unify it a little bit more with the photo texture so it blends in better with what I have painted previously. Now let's put everything we've learned to the test. When painting armor, you have to think about how it behaves on different shapes like sphere, cylinder, and boxes, etc. For example, the bolts on the pauldron will act as a sphere, while the rim details around it will act more as a cylinder, which means the highlights will be more round on the bolts and more straight vertical reflections on the metal rim. I'll start with a fairly mid-tone local color that I will darken up more as I go to keep the iron high contrast, and map out the shadows based on my light source. Then I add highlights and paint in some reflection from the sky and surrounding metal. I started out with a texture brush, but it quickly became very noisy. To fix this, I'm using an airbrush to soften the transition. This helps to soften overly detailed areas. Finally, I use a photo for some extra texture. I then add some cracks and bumps. Last step, I finish the pauldron off with some color variation to make it more interesting. Hope this video was helpful. Let me know in the comments if you are struggling with any other detail like skin, wood, or maybe plastic. I will make sure to cover them in a future video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.